If you're over 45, you've stood in front of the mirror at least once this week asking yourself, should I tuck this shirt in or leave it out? Do I tuck this shirt into my jeans and risk looking stiff, or leave it untucked and risk looking sloppy? Because same shirt, same jeans. One guy tucks it and looks sharp. Another guy tucks it and looks uncomfortable, like he's trying too hard. I get it. You've seen both. Guys who tuck and look great. Guys who tuck and look awkward. Same with untucked. How are you supposed to know what's right? It feels like guessing every morning. Most style advice gives you a simple rule. Always tuck with jeans or never tuck. But that's treating you like you're following a uniform. Here's what that advice misses. Tucking isn't about rules. It's about what you're communicating without saying a word. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly when tucking makes you look sharp, when it works against you, and the one length rule most guys get wrong. By the end, you'll know exactly what to do every time you dress. Stick around because I'm showing you the shirt length mistake, making you look shorter and sloppier, and how to fix it in 30 seconds. Let's go. Reframe the question. Tucking is a visual language. Before I tell you when to tuck or not, I need to change how you think about this. Tucking isn't a style hack. It's communication. When you tuck, you're saying, I'm being intentional. I thought about this. When you don't tuck, you're saying, I'm comfortable. I don't need to prove anything. Neither message is better. They're just different. Here's where guys our age get tripped up. They tuck because they think they should, or never tuck because that's what they've always done. But at 45, 50, 60, you've earned the right to make either work. You just need to know when. First, when tucking actually works. When men 45 plus should tuck. When does tucking work? Tuck when you need to look credible. Not dressed up, not formal, credible. Meeting a client, taking someone to dinner who matters, meeting her family for the first time. These are tucked moments. Because when you tuck, you're signaling that you respect the situation enough to think about how you're showing up. Real example. You're picking someone up for a nice dinner. If you're untucked, you're saying, hey, this is casual. If you're tucked, you're saying, this moment matters to me. Same guy, same outfit, completely different message. Next, tuck when your shirt actually has structure. Heavier fabric, proper collar, a little bit of that dress shirt quality. Those shirts are designed to be tucked. Want a quick test? Flip your shirt over. If the bottom has those curved tails on the sides, it was made to go inside your pants. Third, tuck when your jeans fit right. Mid-rise, straight leg, not baggy, not too tight. Because here's the truth. Tucking only looks good when your whole outfit has some structure. If your jeans are sloppy, tucking won't save you. You'll just look like you're trying to make bad jeans look dressy. Structure plus structure. That's what creates that clean, pulled together look that works at any age. Now here's what matters. Everything I just told you only applies in certain situations, because there are times when tucking actually makes you look worse. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Who should not tuck? When does tucking not work? I'm going to be direct here because this actually matters. If you're carrying weight in your belly, think twice about tucking. When you tuck, every eye goes straight to your midsection. That's just physics. If your stomach's bigger than your chest, tucking is going to make you look heavier and shorter. But a shirt that fits right and hangs untucked, that can make you look 10 pounds lighter. Same guy, same day, totally different impression. Second, don't tuck with low-rise jeans. Low-rise sits below your natural waist. When you tuck into that, you're exposing your belly and throwing off all your proportions. It doesn't work. You need mid-rise jeans that sit at your actual waist. That's what makes tucking look natural instead of forced. Third, don't tuck casual shirts. Oxford cloth, chambray, linen, these shirts were designed to hang loose. When you force them into your jeans, you're fighting what the shirt is supposed to do. It's like wearing dress shoes to the gym. Just doesn't make sense. Bottom line, tucking doesn't hide anything. It highlights whatever's going on with your build. So you need to know your body and dress accordingly. That's not settling, that's being smart. Which brings me to the guys who should be going untucked most of the time. Which body types look better untucked? So who should go untucked? Let me break down who this really works for. If you've got a dad bod, a little extra in the middle but you're not heavy, Untucked is your best move. The shirt falls straight down, covers what needs covering, and you look relaxed. Not like you're hiding something, just like you know what works for you. That's confidence. Shorter guys, pay attention to this one. When you tuck, you're drawing a line at your waist. That line makes your legs look shorter. But untucked, if the length is right, can actually add visual height. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to get that length right, because that's where most guys completely blow it. And then there's everyday life. Coffee with a friend, Saturday errands, grabbing lunch. These aren't make an impression situations, they're just regular life. Untucked makes total sense here. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between untucked because you made a choice and untucked because you didn't look in the mirror. One looks intentional, the other looks like you gave up. At our age, casual doesn't mean you stopped caring. It means you're comfortable enough to dress the way you actually want to. And that takes me to the most important part of this whole video. Because you can know when to tuck, when not to tuck, but if you get the length wrong, none of it matters. The shirt length rule. Alright, this is where most guys get it completely wrong. Shirt length. This is the game changer. For untucked shirts, the bottom should hit right at your zipper, maybe 1.5 inches below at the absolute most. It covers your belt but doesn't cover your back pockets. That's your target. Too short? Looks like you grabbed your son's shirt. Too long? Looks like you meant to tuck it in but forgot. Or shirts that can be tucked. They're longer, they have those curved tails, and they stay in place when you move. Try this right now if you're near a shirt. Raise your arms to shoulder height. If the shirt pulls completely out, it's too short to tuck properly. That's your test. Here's something you can use next time you're shopping. Look at the hem. Straight across the bottom? That's an untucked shirt. Curved with longer sides? That's meant to be tucked. Just knowing that one thing will save you from buying shirts that never quite work right. Getting the length right. That's one of those small details that separates guys who look dialed in from guys who look sloppy. And it's got nothing to do with spending more money. It's just about knowing what actually fits. If this is helping you, go ahead and hit that like button. It tells YouTube to show this to more guys who need it. And I'm about to tie all of this together with one simple principle you can use every single day. The golden rule for men 45 plus. Here's what all of this comes down to. After 45, dressing well isn't about looking younger. It's about looking like you know what you're doing. Intentional, composed, in control. That's real style. Knowing what works for you instead of just following whatever's trending. Your checklist. Tuck when the situation calls for intention. Untuck when you've made that choice deliberately. And if you're not sure, don't force it. The guys who dress best at our age aren't following rules from GQ. They're making decisions based on their actual body, their actual life, and what the moment actually calls for. That's the difference between chasing trends and having your own style. You're not dressing for social media. You're not trying to look 30 again. You're dressing like a man who's comfortable in his own skin and knows exactly who he is. And I'll tell you what, that's a hell of a lot more impressive than any trend. So we started with you standing in front of the mirror, wondering, should I tuck or not? That was the question. Now you know it's not about always tucking or never tucking. It's about what you're communicating. Tuck when you need to look intentional. Client meetings, important dinners, situations that matter. Don't tuck if you're carrying weight in your belly or wearing casual shirts like Oxford or linen. And if you go untucked, that shirt needs to hit right at your zipper, not lower, not covering your back pockets. That's the difference between looking sharp and looking sloppy. Before this video, you were guessing every time you got dressed. Now you understand the signals you're sending. You're making decisions based on your body, your situation, what you want to communicate. That's not following rules. That's having style figured out. Here's what I want to know. Are you a tucker or an untucker? Drop a comment with 3 things: your age, your build, and what you usually do. I'm responding to every comment today because I want to see if there's a pattern. And if you're still not sure what works for you, describe your situation and I'll tell you exactly what I do. If this helped you figure out something you've been wondering about for years, hit that like button. It helps more guys find this. And if you want more of this, practical style advice for guys our age, no trends, no nonsense, hit subscribe. I put out a video every week, and next week, I'm covering the biggest shoe mistakes men over 45 make with jeans. At 45, you're not following fashion rules. You're making style decisions. That's the difference. Thanks for watching.